Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, lived a sweet and gentle girl named Cinderella. Her life was far from a fairy tale. After her father passed away, she was left with her cruel stepmother and two very jealous stepsisters. They treated her not like family, but like a servant. Every day, from sunrise to sunset, Cinderella had to cook, clean, and take care of all the chores in their large house. While her stepsisters dressed in fine clothes and went to parties, Cinderella wore rags, and her only friends were the little mice who lived in the attic. Despite all this hardship, she never lost her kindness or her hopeful spirit. She always believed that one day her dreams would come true. One sunny afternoon, a royal messenger arrived with exciting news. The king was throwing a magnificent royal ball at the palace, and every single young woman in the kingdom was invited. The prince himself would be there looking for a bride. Cinderella's heart fluttered with excitement. Oh, how she wished she could go to the ball. She imagined dancing in a beautiful gown and meeting the prince, but her stepmother just laughed cruelly. "You go to the ball," she sneered. "Look at you in your rags. You'll stay right here and finish all your chores." Heartbroken, Cinderella watched as her stepmother and stepsisters, dressed in their finest gowns, left for the palace, leaving her all alone. Tears streamed down Cinderella's face as she sat by the fireplace. All her hopes were crushed. But just as she was about to give up, a soft, warm light filled the room. A kind-looking woman with a sparkling wand appeared before her. "Don't cry, my dear," she said with a gentle smile. "I am your fairy godmother, and I'm here to help you go to the ball." With a flick of her magical wand, everything began to change. She waved it at a pumpkin in the garden, and poof, it transformed into a magnificent golden carriage. The little mice became majestic white horses, and a friendly farm horse turned into a coachman. But the most amazing transformation was yet to come. With another wave of her wand, the fairy godmother touched Cinderella's tattered rags. Instantly, they turned into the most breathtaking ball gown Cinderella had ever seen, shimmering with starlight. On her feet appeared a pair of delicate glass slippers that sparkled like diamonds. Cinderella couldn't believe her eyes. She was ready for the ball. As she was about to leave, her fairy godmother gave her one important warning. "Remember, the magic will only last until midnight. At the stroke of 12, everything will turn back to the way it was." Cinderella promised to remember, and, filled with joy, she stepped into the golden carriage and raced off to the palace. When Cinderella arrived at the ball, everyone turned to stare. Who was this mysterious and beautiful princess? Even her own stepmother and stepsisters didn't recognize her. The prince was completely enchanted. From the moment he saw her, he had eyes for no one else. He asked her to dance, and they spent the entire evening together, waltzing across the grand ballroom and talking as if they had known each other forever. Cinderella was so happy, she completely lost track of time. Suddenly, she heard the distant chime of the clock tower. Bong bong. It was striking midnight. "Oh, I must go," she cried, pulling away from the prince. She rushed out of the palace as fast as she could. In her hurry, one of her delicate glass slippers slipped off her foot and was left behind on the grand staircase. By the time she reached her carriage, the magic was already fading, and she was back in her old rags just as she ran home. The next day, the entire kingdom was buzzing with talk of the mysterious princess. The prince was determined to find her. His only clue was the single glass slipper she had left behind. He declared that he would marry the woman whose foot fit the slipper perfectly. He and his royal guards travelled to every house in the kingdom. When they finally arrived at Cinderella's home, her wicked stepmother locked her in the attic, hoping one of her own daughters would be chosen. The stepsisters tried desperately to squeeze their feet into the tiny slipper, but it was no use. Just as the prince was about to leave, Cinderella's little mice friends helped her unlock the door. She came downstairs just in time. The stepmother tried to stop her, but the prince insisted she try on the slipper, and, of course, it fit her perfectly. The prince looked into her eyes and recognized the girl he had fallen in love with at the ball. He took Cinderella back to the palace, where they were married in a grand celebration. Cinderella's life of hardship was over, and she lived happily ever after, forever cherished not for her beauty, but for the kindness and hope she always carried in her heart. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more magical stories.